You some breaking news following this out of Louisville. The extended case of Breonna Taylor. The former Louisville police officer was sentenced to 33 months in prison for violating Breonna Taylor's rights during a raid in which she was shot and killed after President Trump's DOJ asked for the judge to imprison him for a single day. Let's take you out to some of these comments. Ben Taylor on the ground, or Benjamin Crump, I should say, excuse me, on the ground there. Let's listen into this live.
Prison for her daughter's death. And even though it's not what we wanted, we thought that he should have gotten more time. We are grateful to Kristen Clark, Merrick Garland, and the Department of Justice, who had the courage for the first time in the history to bring federal charges against a police officer for killing a black woman in America. And so we are grateful that he is at least going to prison, and have to thank for those 3 years about Breonna Taylor and that her life mattered. At this time, Attorney Lanita Baker, who is a great lawyer, homegrown here in Louisville, Kentucky, who have fought the fight with Tamika and the family. And Lanita, you know this family, you know this community, and thanks to you, they've been able to go this far. Y'all, a great round of applause for Attorney Lanita Baker.
Today's definitely not what we wanted, but we will take 33 months in prison, followed by the 3 years of supervised release. A DOJ prosecutor, what'd y'all say his name? Rob Keenan. We don't know his name really because he hasn't been in touch with us. He sent a text message at 10 o'clock p.m. last Wednesday. And when I told him he needed to contact Tamika Palmer, he said, oh, I'll just do it in the morning. And he didn't do that in the morning. Instead, in the morning, we got a copy of the sentencing memorandum from a member of the media. That's the prosecutor that filed that motion for 1 day. That's the prosecutor that came in here today and argued harder for Brett Hankison to be released than he advocated for the victim of this case, Breonna Taylor. We're not fighting still for a conviction. We have the conviction. The jury found Brett Hankison violating Breonna's civil rights.
That part.
We were here today for a just sentence. And while 33 months in prison is not enough, it's more than they were asking for. And we do have to, we commend the judge for taking the time to listen, to push back, and to express her disappointment within the Department of Justice, because she did do that. And she all but said they violated their oath of office as prosecutors. And as a former prosecutor, they did that. And at one point, it got so bad of them arguing for Brett Hankison that I probably was going to get held in contempt. So I took Tamika out because she didn't need to listen to that man anymore. And so Ben gave accolades to Merrick Garland and Kristen Clark. I would be remiss if I did not say and give a shout out to Mike Songer, who we wish could have been here today arguing and advocating for Breonna Taylor and for the officers to truly be held to justice. Mike Songer and Anna Godfried, the prosecutors who tried this case with dignity, with respect, who listened to this family, who gave it to the jury, and who got those convictions. I would be remiss if I did not give them their shout out and say that we really wish you all were here today fighting for us. And just know that this is one fight. We still have 2 other officers that this community has to demand that this Department of Justice continues to prosecute. Cal Meany and Joshua James, we cannot forget about them. And they are charged with Breonna's murder. You heard the judge say today that Brett Hankison wasn't being sentenced for her murder, but Joshua James and Cal Meany are. And so this community, this family, Breonna Taylor deserves justice, and we got to continue to demand it.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, as Attorney Baker said, it was really like a George Orwell story in there. never in my career as a lawyer had I heard the prosecutor argue so adamantly for a convicted felon who had been convicted by a jury who heard all the evidence. The judge talked about how she was troubled. She agreed with Ms. Palmer that it seemed to be a 180-degree about face in the courtroom, the arguments that they were making, saying that he should get 1 day in prison, even though the jury convicted him of a crime, even though there was a sentencing guideline that said he could get up to life in prison. They said 1 day, 1 day. So I agree with Attorney Baker. We thank the judge for her attention to detail and for setting the record straight that he was convicted of depriving Breonna Taylor of her civil rights, Fourth Amendment seizure. And that is a crime that we acknowledge in America that you go to prison for. So he is going to prison, and we have to keep watching as to when he is going to go to prison. And with that, the lady who is responsible for this day happening, she fought harder than anybody else to say that my daughter, Breonna Taylor, did not deserve this. She did not deserve to be killed in her own home. She did not deserve to be lied to when she got to the apartment about where's my daughter. And they sent her on a wild goose chase while her daughter laid in that hallway dead. From that night to this very moment, she has been dogmatic and fighting for this police officer and those others to be held accountable. So we should celebrate Tamika Palmer and Breonna Taylor's family for making this day possible. Yeah, as she gets ready to speak from her heart, let her know that her daughter will never be forgotten. Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer.
Make sure you step up for us. We want to make sure all the cameras can see you, Tamika.
I don't really got a lot to say. I think the judge did the best she could with what she had to work with. There was no prosecution in there for us. There was no prosecution in there for Breonna.
That part.
So I definitely, I'm grateful for the judge for giving some time, because we could have walked away with nothing according to what they recommended. So I'm just grateful for my friends and family for steady showing up, and no matter how disappointing we seem to be, but we still here, and I'm just grateful that something happened today.
Tamika, you were frustrated at many points inside that courtroom today, listening to the prosecutor essentially arguing for Brett Hankison in there. Tell us your mindset.
Why was he here? That was my mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand him. We didn't need him if that's what he came to do. Brett had his own defense team, and I didn't know he got a second one, so.
That part.
Never
He
seen
had
two
defense lawyers arguing for him.
Two defense.
One, the government attorney, his private attorneys arguing for him.
What does it mean to you to know that you were supposed to be talked to by the Department of Justice to have that new team come in? What does it mean?
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Last question for her.
To have that new attorney on the case come in and replace all the work that the previous administration had done, what does that say to you about how serious this case was to them compared to how serious it is to you?
It was just as disrespectful as being sent to a hospital my daughter wasn't at. So, that man didn't know who I was when I walked into the room. I've never seen such a thing. I've never even heard of such a thing. It was disrespectful. It was heartbreaking. It shouldn't have happened. And like I said, he didn't know who I was. And the fact we wasn't even given the same opportunity. They submitted letters. We had family and friends submit letters. He never even turned in. I don't know the point. I don't know the point of him. I didn't know why he was here.
It was insult on top of injury, literally. Insult on top of injury. Last word.
Tamika, you told me after November 1st that you felt air in your lungs again, but you were also paying close attention to the election. How do you feel right now?
I said it that day, we'll see, and we got to see. Like, we got to see. We still, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that we've moved the needle much, but.
Do you feel like you've got justice?
We got.
I feel like we got something.
Yeah.
We got something. I don't think it was a fair sentencing, but it was a start.
Yeah. And now we're going to hear from Mr. Kenny Walker.
All right, just listening in there to that, saying it was something somewhat better than nothing in terms of this, the sentencing, 33 months for violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. Of course, this a post from the USA Today showing this as Brett Hankison, a former Louisville police officer, sentenced for violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor, the 26-year-old black woman who was killed during a botched raid on her home in 2020.